Yeah, I'm feeling really good about this event. Coming in, I'm one round farther in than I was last year, so I'm happy about that.
I'm feeling pretty good about getting the bye into the quarterfinals. Missing, first part of the season really meant a lot to me to get into the top 16 and qualify for the bye.
Yeah, I think over the last couple seasons, it's been a tournament. Of course, you want to do well, and you're still going home with money is always kind of nice. It's kind of relieving, but you definitely want to push and make the most of it.
Today it's just about going out and having fun. Everything's a little bit of a bonus today, but you got to stay focused all day. Every stroke counts.
Yeah, this event is obviously the biggest payout in disc golf history, and it makes it a big one. I think the $35,000 is probably the most anybody would get paid for first place.
Just come out and play your best and get rewarded for that.
It would be great to win. Nathan Queen won this last year. This is another course. It's a pretty nice lefty course, so my backhand's feeling really good.
It's tight, it's wooded. There's not a lot of distance shots, which is nice.
Yeah, it's been a great season so far, and so it'd be nice to cap it off, with a big win. That'd be awesome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina for the front nine of the quarterfinals here at the Matt Keats Memorial Course at Nevin Park for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship presented by Barbasol. Jeremy Koling, Paul Ulibarri, BigBarri commentary, bringing you all the action. But first, we want to remind you guys about the 10% sale that's going on site-wide at JomezPro.com. We've got shirts. We've got the new patent pending shirts.
The patent pending shirts are looking alive.
$50 or more in your order, and you are going to get free shipping as long as you live within the U.S. So go check that out right now. But without further ado, let's get into the quarterfinal action. We have a phenomenal card today, Paul.
We certainly do. I think that Aaron Gossage is trending upwards. Look at that tour ranking right now. 16th place, a lot to do with that second place finish at Worlds. Mm-hmm. His best stat is parked. He gets it under the basket a lot. Chris Clemons, what's his tour ranking right there, Jerm?
13th. Ooh, great season for Chris Clemons. He's been a player that's been on the radar for a long time, but I feel like this was his finest season by a long shot. Really in the mix quite a few times. Had a couple opportunities down the stretch at some events this year, but he was always in the top couple 3-4 cards.
Yep.
Isaac Robinson, obviously first-time tour winner this year. He really broke out, and he only played about half the season, and he is still on this card with the bye to the quarterfinals. And obviously Ezra Aderhold also having another great season, 14th in the tour ranking. Couple different styles of play here today. We've got Chris Clemons, who has a great woods golf with the backhand lefty and forehand lefty, can really shape these fairways here at Nevin Park really well. We obviously have Isaac Robinson, who has such a controlled, he's got that southeast style woods golf coming from Georgia. We've seen the controlled drives, but Aaron Gossage and Ezra Aderhold are much more inclined for the big shots. So seeing how they acclimate their game to the woods.
Ezra Aderhold, Isaac Robinson, and Aaron Gossage.
It'll certainly be something to look forward to today. This is the second to last card. So these guys will have two cards in front of them or one card?
They're going to have
cards in front
two.
of them. So they'll get to see the action that's going on in front of them, but they also know that there is one card behind them.
Okay.
And for those that may not have watched our first round coverage, that means that 4 players out of the 16 playing today will move on to the semifinals. The best 4 scores move. Chris Clemons not taking much time at all, but just to throw the nice slight flip up right down the middle.
Next on the tee, representing Discraft, please welcome Mr. Ezra Aderhold.
Ezra going with the 2-finger here.
This is early kicked, and I think that's going to be out of bounds. That's going to put Ezra at the drop zone at the bottom of the hill. Tough start.
Welcome to Mr. Isaac Robinson.
Yeah, I think he was going with the sidearm just to make sure to hit the gap and kind of take that out of bounds out of play. So big time mistake to start the round for Ezra.
And Isaac also not spending much time at all to just throw that laser Anheuser.
We're kind of used to him doing that. He likes to get up and fire it.
Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Aaron Gossage.
This course sets up really well for forehands and nice controlled backhand Anheisers. So definitely like what Aaron has. His game plan, if he's hitting his line, he'll give himself a lot of opportunities.
Gets this one flat. Is it going to get the skip?
Yeah, that's low. It's going to be within circle 2, but it's a long putt and it's uphill.
You don't think he made it in the circle there?
No, I don't think he did. I think he's pretty well
Okay.
short. Ezra keeps those one wide and just hyzers in time. That should be an easy 4, but that was close to another 5.
Oh, yeah,
I say another 5 because we've seen several players not get up and down from the drop zone this week.
This is far away. Oh, can get a little roll on that, but he ends up settling down there.
Good line, just a little low.
And even Chris
Clemons.
was a little farther away than I thought, but he made that look very easy.
That's been one of his strengths this year. Very methodical, smooth, up and down rhythm putter. Gets that thing going, and it is a thing to watch out for. Isaac starting his round out the right way. And Ezra's over the rim, and he'll fall 2 back of Chris and Isaac, and Aaron will have this short par putt. Several of the holes in this course are no different than they are as they would be for the rest of the year. The only thing that has changed is the par name or the par number. Hole 2 is traditional hole 16, and this is normally a par 4. It's a very difficult hole to reach, and there is out of bounds on this left side creek as you make your way down the hill. This week, obviously, this is a par 3, and this is very attackable. I do believe it is a true par 3 for most players, but it's going to require a good backhand here for Chris Clemons or forehands from the other 3 guys. Actually, Isaac will definitely be going backhand turnover.
I really like the way this looks.
That's exactly what you're looking to do. That's a perfect shot. Pushing that out of bounds line, but never crossing over. That's exactly what you're looking to do. And he's going just outside that tree at the bottom of the hill. You have to pick a side mentally when you step up on this tee pad and commit.
And this is one of the holes that Chris needs to get. It's a pretty easy shot for a left-handed player. Stock hyzer right around there. That's going to give him some confidence.
Not an easy play for a right-hand, backhand Anheuser.
That looks pretty easy, Jerm.
But boy, oh boy, did he just make that look so simple. Oh my goodness. That is, without question, the best backhand Anheuser shot I have seen on this hole ever. Absolute park job. 2 for 2 for both Isaac and Chris on the first 2 holes, most likely. Aaron, super inside, and that's a fortunate kick. If that kicks inside right, there is just 0 scramble opportunities. The fact that it does kick out will open up an opportunity to scramble.
Ezra needs to get heavy hyzer. Kicks to the middle, though. Fortunate kick again. That's got to go, or is that good?
It's borderline okay, but short edge of circle, he cannot afford to miss that putt and go to 2 over through 2 holes. These aren't the hardest starting holes.
No, in my opinion,
Nice
the
shot,
front
Aaron.
9, well, probably in everybody's opinion who's ever played this course, but this front 9 is a scoring 9. You have to come out of this 9 2, 3 minimum.
Yeah, the early holes certainly. The problem is once you get to that middle section, 7, 8, 9, 10, those holes are so tricky that if you give yourself some insurance birdies here early, like Chris and Isaac have done, it just gives you that opportunity to kind of, I don't want to say coast through there because you're trying to score birdie still, but it's just not easy to do. Aaron, good par save, and Ezra does indeed drop another stroke, and just like that, he is 4 back with 2 different guys on this card. And we saw that there was players shooting, Bradley Williams shoots 7 under in round 1, and you got to think that that number to get in is got to be around the 5 to 6 range. I think that's the number these guys are shooting for. As we're looking at the fairway of hole 3, another par 3, another 425-foot shot down the hill. It's blind once again. This is a much straighter shot with a little break at the end. Really good shot shape for Chris.
Too much hyzer.
Don't like kicking it into the right side. That's going to be a bit tricky.
Isaac going with the same disc he just threw. Oh, and I feel like if he misses that last one, it was looking really nice.
For a right-hand backhand turnover, you have to, or an anhyzer, you have to push it so far down the left side to give it enough room to break back to the right. But this is such a hard birdie for a backhand anhyzer shot. Aaron, huge distance. That gets all the way to the bottom of the hill, and he's going to have inside C2 look for the birdie. And this is so good.
Oh, man.
So good. Still has to work for it. There it is. So Ezra will also find himself in C2, but 2 good looks for birdie coming up.
Catches something.
And that's the problem with that early right side. It is so hard to go directly towards the basket. A lot of shots are going to have to do what you see right here with Isaac, really playing the wide turnover, and that's going to give him a pretty good look at the par. So just like that, Clemons will drop a shot.
Not a hole he would like to do that on. I feel like...
Oh, what a delivery.
Deep. That'll get Gossage to 1 under the hard way.
That thing had some movement. That was good from another 20 feet past that.
Yes.
Thing was coming in hot.
But I just think of Chris as such a smooth thrower, line hitter, that I feel like this is a hole.
Oh, and Ezra dances over the rim.
It'd be... Obviously, he's disappointed with the bogey. I'm just saying. That's a bummer, I guess, is what I'm saying.
For Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. This is one that he needed to...
Exactly.
He's not
Execute
looking
on.
at a bogey for sure. In his head, he's thinking, if I miss my line a little bit, I'll have a long putt. You know, give yourself an opportunity for the birdie. But definitely, you have to avoid these early bogeys. But there's bogey potential in every hole. And we've already seen that just through 3 holes. Every hole has netted an over par stroke.
But we see Ezra get right back on the horse, gets the birdie. That goes a long ways. He's going to have to get 4 out of the next 6 or 7.
No one's out of it after 3 holes. It's really when you find yourself on the 10th or 11th hole, that's when you start realizing, like, okay, I might be out
But
of
you
this.
kind of are. If you get over par early here, it's so hard to get them back. They're just so tight, you know.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful hole, hole 4. You got the power lines right down the middle. Plays straight downhill, so 462. You're throwing about a 420-foot shot.
Yep. And Aaron has gone down the right side, and there it is emerging on the other side of the ditch.
That disappeared forever.
You hardly ever see anything go in these woods and return out with speed without hitting anything. That is a good break for Aaron. Ezra airing it up the hill and to the traditional par 4 placement that's on the other side of that fairway. That would be a perfect drive, but now Ezra is going to be looking at the pin from about 50 feet away.
This is the way I feel like you need to be playing the hole. I just think it really opens up the fairway, gives you a straight shot at the basket, and the only tree that's in your way, if you do peer it, is that last one
he hit. If this keeps turning, it's going to be good. If not, it could be in trouble with the out-of-bounds ditch. I think he clears it.
Wow, that's going to be close, though.
So all 4 players safe, all 4 players across the ditch, and everyone's putting. And Ezra giving it good height, just barely missing off to the left side.
Well, he actually got a look at it.
Chris coming up a bit short. And Aaron missing that one left. See if Isaac can knock down the huge birdie here. Being 3 down through 4 is just quality. I mean, just you are giving yourself so much comfort with these. You want to give yourself looks and you just don't want to be over par, but to get 3 of the first 4, especially when the second hole, the third hole, these are like sidearm holes.
Yeah.
You have to have such a quality backhand anhyzer to be able to control those shots to get yourself good looks, and Isaac's off to a great start.
And you got to be able to make the tester putts. Like that one up there, that plays 40 feet uphill.
Well, he was 40 feet and he was putting uphill, so yeah, that plays even farther.
He's like 50 feet uphill.
Or like 100. Aaron with the save, Ezra with the save, and Chris will drop that one in. So no harm for those 3 guys, but right now they are chasing Isaac's hot start at 3 under as we move to hole 5. This is a par 4, 580 feet. It plays like it's a 2-shot hole where you really want to get to this corner. The best way to do that is a backhand anhyzer where you're not trying to get too much distance. You're looking to get somewhere in that 250 to 290 range. You can give yourself a short approach on this hole if you get everything, but the trees at the top of that hill at the corner are kind of spread out in a way that you're just hoping to get to the top of the hill. If you try to turn the corner, you can hit trees and get off the fairway. That right there is an ideal drive.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, for what he's trying to do, I don't think he wants it to turn any more or go any shorter or farther. That's exactly what Isaac drew up.
Good kick there, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to hurt him either.
A lot of left to right plays out here to get in position in the first 10 holes or so. Well, the 10th hole is the straightest hole of all time.
Yes, it is.
Get through.
Oh, this is really good. Wow. It's going to find itself on the right side of the fairway, but he's still in the fairway. He's going to have a good downhill look for his approach, and Chris using all the left side fairway.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
He's going to have, like you said, with that forehand backhand combo, he's always going to have options when he's tucked behind a tree.
Little heavy on the hyzer, but he could sneak down to
Just
pin
needs
high.
to sit down and just coming up short. I think he connected on a tree at the bottom of the hill that saved him a stroke from going out of bounds. That's a good approach there for Aaron. And just missing the height by a couple of inches is Chris Clemons. A good-looking shot. He'll have an open look from about 45 feet. And that one was narrowly off the mark for Isaac.
What does that log play? 50 feet?
Yeah, it's right around that range.
Slow down.
That is playing the hole perfectly. Ezra dissecting hole 5. Oh, getting a bit aggressive could end up costing Isaac as he finds himself near C1's edge with several things obstructing his par putt coming up. Meanwhile, Chris
Wow,
connects
that
on
was
the big
right
jump putt.
in the sweet spot. Watch how comes in from left to right and grabs the fat part of the chains right there.
I just love how his hyzer putt really just stalls and dives in.
Yep.
It doesn't have an opportunity to spit out because it has such low energy by the time it gets to the basket.
Oh, you silly goose.
I see what you did there. Just off the mark is Aaron, and Isaac just casually delivers a very challenging putt.
Well, I mean, that's what you can do when you're at the level that he is with the putting stroke. You can run it from everywhere and know that you're probably going to make the one coming back.
What a luxury.
Not a lot of people have been gifted with that one.
Aaron takes his time on the tap in, and he will stay at 1 under. Ezra is now at even par. He's fighting his way. And Isaac continuing his way, still at 3 under as we move on to hole 6. Uphill par 3, Paul. What is the disc choice for these players, do you think?
You know, it's a roll of the dice for Gossage. I don't know if he's going to go sidearm or backhand. I'm guessing backhand. He'll go probably some sort of fairway driver. Chris Clemons also, you never know, probably some sort of fast driver. Ezra's going mid-range. No, he'll go fairway driver up the hill.
He's going passion. He's going flippy. And that's going to come up a bit short. I think that maybe by going understable, he was a bit scared to really get the move behind the disc and in fear of maybe turning it over.
Oh, here we go. Here's a look at the good stuff.
Got to keep it low with the forehand. And
Buttery is that, though?
Clemons is maybe the best at throwing the disc about 5 inches off the ground. And that's so hard to do when you're going up this steep hill. Great commitment to the shot for Chris. This is looking, pretty much perfect for Isaac.
Big collection area over there to the left side. You want to keep it on hyzer, keep it from the right side, and then it filters over into those trees. These guys shouldn't have any problems navigating them, though. They're pretty wide.
This is essentially
gaps, that is.
Playing as a must get. I mean, this is as simple as Nevin really gives you.
I totally agree.
Especially on the Matt Keats Memorial layout. Ezra is not going to be connecting on that long birdie bid, and you hate to miss that one when you're sitting at even par. Especially when guys like Chris Clemons are just dropping putts in back-to-back holes now outside C1. That is going to take him to 3 under. Good looking stroke there for Aaron. Something that he's been working on a lot this season, taking a little bit more time. If you remember back to OTB Open, he had a great shot of winning that event and just missed too many short putts. He's kind of vowed to take a little bit more time behind his lie and give himself a little bit more focus, a little bit more preparation.
It's funny how little things like that'll work through your career. Sometimes you're like, you know, I'm not thinking about it. And you go up there and you just try to pop it in, and that works for a couple months. And then you need to take a little bit more time, and then that works for a couple months. It's constantly changing. Hole 7, par3, 375. Talk about changing. Do not change speeds. Throw it soft.
Yeah, that's right. This hole hasn't changed over the years. There's a short pad and this long pad, and it is just a classic, just treacherous hole. If you don't throw a good tee shot, your next play is to lay it up because it's just such a scary green. I guess if there has been one change, it's been elevating this basket.
Much height here.
And you know what? Yes, of course he's gone long. I'll take that miss over short every day of the week.
Okay.
You just have an easier chance to lay back up the hill than you do when you're short and you have to try to throw it upside down or whatever. I think if you gave most players the opportunity to take one or the other, I think they're taking long.
Sidearm play. Really tough one, but he throws this as good as you can throw it, I feel like. Sit down.
That is almost perfect distance control for Aaron. And look at the hillside, just unable to keep the disc from rolling, but a good looking throw. He's going to have that uphill comebacker.
I like the height on this one. Almost catches the down
Yeah, so close. And now he's left with that super scary 45-foot putt downhill. What does he do in the position of being 3 under? I mean, 4 back of Isaac and 3 back of Chris.
Well, if he was 3 under, he'd be laying it up. But I have a feeling he will not be doing that.
I don't think you can lay this putt up. Not in his position. And it sits.
That looked really good. Very aggressive.
Committed.
Missed it high.
If you run that putt, you have to commit. That's the only thing. You cannot be results-based lining that putt up. You have to be 100%, I'm either going to do this or I'm not going to do this. And he made his choice.
Oh, boy. That was close to disastrous. I really liked Clemons' upshot. Didn't aim at the basket. Aims to the right side of it. Doesn't even try to go anywhere near it. You hit that hand-eye, and that thing will roll all the way back to you. Veteran move right there.
Yeah, this is smart acknowledgement of a veteran play. That's something that all too often players will try to park the hole, and that's not the point, really. The point is to make the next one. The little things definitely add up.
Not so smart. The turbo super putt.
It can be hard to go from like that intense focus directly into like, sure, I'd love to take a selfie with you. Yeah, let me sign this. All these fans are people, you know, that I might actually be a friend with, or if I have the chance to really get to know them. The tour family that we have out on the road really goes a long way to making this like sustainable and making it enjoyable. So just having that support system and just having people that you care about, that you're traveling with, really makes it sustainable.
Quick stat correction for you guys at home. We misspoke in the booth earlier. Confused round 1 for the quarterfinals. There were 16 players competing in round 1. Today there are only 12, but it's still the top 4 scores, but there's only 3 cards, this being the middle of those 3 cards. So you still have a little bit of leeway that any ties from this card beat the first card out, but any ties with that last card would be lost to tour points, which would go to that last card.
Chris Weidheiser trying to get this in position. This is a par 4.
That's a bit wide on that right side. That's going to really make the next shot quite difficult, but he does have a great Anheuser forehand, so we'll see what he comes up with on his next. This is good distance, but again, the angle is going to make it really tricky for Isaac to come away with birdie.
These are short par 4s, but the way they're playing them, they actually play pretty long. Each shot plays a little bit farther than you're comfortable with. Because the fairways are so tight, you're actually throwing, let's say you're throwing a 300-foot shot, you're actually throwing 340 in power to keep it on that tighter line.
And you're throwing the mid-range, so you're still throwing it hard. It's just not going long what we're used to seeing in the open courses. Ezra, with an unfortunate tree kick, put him out of position, and he had to go big on that second shot, and he ends up finding himself on that left side rough. It could be pretty tricky in there. Aaron finding himself in the ditch, which makes it really difficult to get a good angle. This one is too wide, I fear, and the kick is not helping him. And let's see what Chris dials up. He does have that lefty forehand. Does it have the right amount of... No, not quite the right stability.
Looks like some pars. This is a kind of an easier hole to par.
Ooh.
I feel like. If you get through that gap right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's a speak for yourself situation. I think
Well, from where their drives were, all of their drives.
They weren't in position to go for the birdie.
Yeah.
So
Tough,
in that case, I can see what you're talking about.
a tough birdie, but pretty easy par.
So he's looking to see if the dead and unattached stick can be removed. If he marks it, they're saying it is behind his lie and in his stance. And that doesn't really matter because it ends up hitting a tree
You heard me.
en route to the basket.
He was just trying to prove me wrong.
Ezra with a great flick through the woods. And that disc almost eye-hopped into the basket.
Okay, well, you know what? It's the hardest hole in the world, and
Man, I tell you, it just off the fairway is not that good.
they should have gotten a par. That's their fault.
I feel you. I feel you. Aaron, that is going to be a frustrating bogey to take because, like Paul said, you should have taken a par.
Please make it. Oh my gosh.
And that's going to be a frustrating bogey to take because, like Paul just said, you should have taken a par. And there indeed is that bogey that Paul really hoped you wouldn't take. But I hear what you're saying, because at a certain point, these guys have to know, like, okay, the birdie is not really that attainable. So how do I get myself in a position?
Take a bogey.
Well, they did that one pretty well.
Yep.
So a couple pars and a couple of the bogue monsters.
That's this course, though. Most courses, when you're inside 250 feet, the best players in the world are going to figure out a way to get up and down. This course, I mean, look at the sides of these fairways.
Yeah, it's
It's a
brutal.
little different. And this place is so tough, it doesn't get played a lot. It really does.
It's amazing. It really is one of the best courses in the area, and you can come out here and have a round all by yourself.
Yeah.
And just not have to worry about any backups at all. And it's because there's so many other options in Charlotte that people don't want to take this kind of punishment.
Even though they could probably just take pars.
Yeah, I don't know if they're as good as these guys, and they're not even able to take pars. Isaac, another great shot. That's going to put him in good position to look downhill at this dogleg right par 4.
Ezra with a great kick. Great kick. Keeps
Yeah.
him in the fairway, and he needs to get on the horse now. He's got to have just a phenomenal back nine if he wants to make a push.
You never want to put yourself in a position where you're thinking, okay, 5 or 6 is the number, and I'm at even, and I've got 9 of the hardest holes to birdie left.
Yes.
And that's kind of where Ezra is if he does not birdie hole 9. These are 4 great tee shots.
And you can see down at the scores, there is the little icons that say
To show what place they're in currently.
T7, T5th, T1, and Ezra in T10th. So Isaac is having the best round of everybody so far, him and somebody else. Chris, he needs to make a little push himself, and Gossage as well.
And the thing about our scores that we show you here is it's not necessarily based on real-time events. This is once everybody has played 8 holes.
Through these holes, yep.
That is what their score's at. But in all actuality, the card that's the last card out probably isn't at 4 under yet. So Isaac is probably sitting at 4 under by himself at this time. So he definitely knows he's playing well. But he doesn't need other people's scores to tell him that. Aaron coming up a bit short there. Wow. That's just so routine. Just put the brakes on right behind the basket. It looks too easy sometimes.
You know what I like about his form? I finally figured out who it reminds me of. He's a smaller Nolan Grider.
Okay. Texas's own.
Yeah.
Chris from long range, that's going to come up a bit short.
He pumps it a bit faster than Nolan does, but I feel like movement's pretty similar. This is from way outside of the circles.
Oh, Aaron,
Of
Gossage.
both the circles.
And that's a huge putt. That gets Aaron to 2 under, and he was in danger of kind of being in a similar situation to Ezra, where it's like, okay, I've got to get a bunch of birdies in this back 9. He still is going to want several, but my goodness, that big putt right there goes a long way into just propelling him into a little bit more confidence heading into the back.
Wow. What was that, 70?
Easily.
80?
Oh, I mean, that was, yeah, every bit of 75, 80 feet. Great knockdown after an unfortunate approach. And Ezra does indeed finish the front 9 with 4 straight pars. And he is at T9 right now. But James Conrad and Isaac, also Drew Gibson and Mason Ford, all sitting at 4 under right now. Those are great scores in the front 9. The best score I think we've seen was Bradley Williams at 5 under yesterday. But that's really the number you're looking to shoot in this front 9, because the back 9 is much more about management and just picking up what you can. Hole 18 has been proving to be very, very difficult. So essentially, you've got 8 holes that you think you can birdie.
Yeah, and there is an eagleable opportunity on 17 as well. I feel like coming down the stretch, that can play a big part of how aggressive you get. 18 is playing very, very difficult.
Almost unbirdieable.
So a lot of things can happen. Gossage, though, dropping a bomb there to finish this round. Let's see what he's got on the back 9.
Got 9 more holes from the quarterfinal. We'll catch you guys in just a moment.